Hello my lovelies, Tanika here from Body by G. I hope you are surviving isolation. Fingers crossed it's not too much longer for us to go, but it's all important that we do stay inside for the greater good of the human race and to stop this virus in its tracks. But just coming on again, just because we are getting a lot of kind of people asking us the same sort of questions. There's a lot of struggle around diet, especially more so than exercise at the minute. So we've actually had a lot of people kind of contact us over the last few days about getting back on track with their diets, as they're finding that they're overindulging more often than not. But also kind of having a few glasses of wine or beers each night, not just for the weekends. And I think that the news of being locked down for longer and the uncertainty that's floating about, people turn to food and drink for comfort. Okay, now there's lots of things that people do to distract themselves from pain, and sometimes when you feel a strong negative emotion, the first thing that comes to mind is to try and use something to mask it. Okay, and for a lot of people, myself included, we deal with these things internally, as well as using food or drink to mask some negative feelings. Okay, and it's to distract yourself, maybe calm down a little bit, or even have a little bit of a high. It's not difficult to put yourself in the position to making out negative emotions should be avoided at all costs. It's like, oh well, if I completely avoid it or never feel negative, then I won't have to do the things that backfire on me. Do you get what I mean? So first I'd like to pose a question. Okay, if you've had high amounts of negative emotional tension and you didn't eat or drink, what would you do instead? Okay, what would actually happen? If your first gut response, pun intended, is to try and mask a negative emotion, is to eat or drink, what would happen if there wasn't any food around? Like, how would you feel? What happens when enough time passes? And that's not a rhetorical question, by the way. I'm totally serious. Pull this from one of your experiences where, maybe you didn't have access to the types of foods or drink that you would normally consume when you are emotionally stressed. Okay, take advantage of that memory, record it, rewrite it, okay, relive it, because you'll be able to draw from it. Okay, feeling compelled or having a strong desire to eat or drink doesn't mean that you need to, right? Okay, and on the flip side of that, you could be compelled to not eat at all. Okay, so you'd have to struggle to force things in as well. So there's two sides to this coin, but it's important to note that our feelings, good or bad, strong or weak, it's not inherently negative, but it's not inherently positive either. Okay, it's just what humans feel. You're a human, it's what happens. Okay, and humans feel those things, and you require those feelings to be alive. Okay, but what we need to do is we need to find another method. Okay, it's important to know that if you're going to use a method to distract yourself from negative feelings, whatever distraction method you use, make sure it doesn't end up swapping whatever negative feeling you have to another negative feeling. Okay, because that just keeps the cycle going. In my personal experience, with tons of other people I have worked with or even seen secondhand, and there's a lot of research I've consumed as well, it shows that time is the biggest factor. Okay, so not any particular method to solve negative amounts of emotional tension. It is just time. Okay, and this is why distraction, it can be of critical importance, because a distraction is used to pass time. Okay, a distraction is not used to solve a problem. There are plenty of options to distract yourself and to take up time, and not all of them contain calories or alcohol. Many of them are calorie free. So the next time you're feeling crappy or you're just feeling really down about things, I think it's important that you acknowledge what is happening. Maybe set yourself a timer, say 30 minutes, okay, and just chill out, whatever that means to you, and see what happens in 30 minutes. Now, I would highly recommend going for a walk. I'm always going to suggest walking, even if it doesn't feel like anything's happened in that 30 minutes. Do you think that negative feeling will keep increasing? while you're on your walk? Or do you think the world's going to explode while you're on your walk? You know, or do you think whatever that feeling is will eventually subside once you've finished your 30-minute walk? I think I know the answer to that. But attempting to use food as a method to distract yourself from the negative emotions generally ends up with more negative emotions. Okay, now the option you have to break that cycle, sometimes, most times, time is really the best treatment. Does that make sense? Has anyone ever struggled with emotional eating? It's like self-sabotage and you can't stop, right? If you have to, let me know in the comments below.